Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Order Up, the Final Order Cutoff show. It is our first show officially in December, but our second FOC in December, as we're going to be talking about the comics that are on FOC this Monday, December 8th. Oddly enough, to really throw a twist in it all, those are books releasing in the year 2026. So, tune in. We have an incredible special guest. We have some amazing books and a surprising lack of books from a certain publisher. You'll have to stay tuned to find out who that is after this opener.
Hi everyone, I'm Mathias Lewis, and I'm here to talk to you about FOC, or Final Order Cutoff. It is the last chance that we, the comic retailers, have to finalize our orders for comics releasing roughly 3 to 6 weeks out from the Mondays we finalize our orders. We deal with this every Monday, but this is important to you, the consumer, because it is the perfect time to reach out to your local comic shop if you want any specific or guaranteed items. If you want the Jim Lee or Dan Mora covers of Justice League Unlimited, reach out to your local comic shop and let us know. If you want the new issue of Lilo and Stitch, this is the perfect time to tell us. Because as long as you can get us the orders before Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that will give your local comic shop retailer enough time to finalize that order, adding in whatever it is you want, so they can guarantee when it releases, we have a copy set aside waiting for you. So, always reach out to your local comic shop before 6 p.m. on Mondays with the comics you want. The sooner, the better, to guarantee they're waiting for you.
All right. And today we are talking about comics that are on Final Order Cutoff for Monday, December 8th. And the Grinch himself making his bah humbuggy appearance. Look at that. Our wonderful producer, Kyle, just here to upset the December holiday love.
Oh, I hate Christmas.
So when certain news circuits are talking about, like the war against Christmas, it's all just entirely Kyle. It's 100% Kyle.
Okay. I spent 15 years working in radio, and one of the stations I worked at started playing Christmas music November 1st. In order to be ready to play Christmas music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, November 1st, you have to start putting the playlist together in August. So it's 102 degrees outside, and we're listening to Mariah Carey Christmas record. It will ruin the holiday for anyone. I also spent a lot of years like in high school choir where you have to like go caroling like outside in the cold at a zoo where none of the animals care that you're there, and there's nobody there because it's raining and it's cold, but you have to be there because you grade.
You don't think the hippopotamuses, specifically the hippopotami, aren't enjoying your, jingle all the way?
No, even Dominic the Christmas donkey was angry at us.
Well, then you must love the fact that in the year 2025, we have over half a dozen Christmas-themed horror anthologies, including
I can get behind a Santa that's also an axe murderer.
Yeah. So, it is a weird theme that we're now in 2025. And I don't know that that's not an unfitting theme. That we have well over half a dozen horror-themed Christmas anthologies, from Dread the Halls, the Startling Tales of Santa. We even have a Spawn Santa Claus comic called I Saw Santa. That poor Santa Claus fellow. But I'm waiting. 2026 will be the Hanukkah horror themed anthologies, and 2027, of course, that's when we get Horror Kwanzaa.
Hey, 8 nights of horrors for Hanukkah would be a good time.
I actually would be
an 8-issue miniseries that each issue is the different a different night of Hanukkah. Like,
It lights the menorah in a very different way.
hey, Dan, send an email.
But
I feel like this is something that some of your people could wrap their heads around.
there it is. So, with that said, let's really quickly talk about the reason people are tuning in. And it's not just the holiday themes. I feel like I do need like a little Star David and some other things to spread the love on this whole entire, like topical holiday month. But let's talk about the fact that we are talking on comics that are hitting final order cutoff this Monday, December 8th. And there are two key places you're going to want to take a look to see those comics. If you like Marvel, IDW, Dark Horse, Distillery, Ignition, Kodansha, Square Enix, and more, all those incredible publishers that are distributed through Penguin Random House, you're going to want to check out prhcomics.com. Right there, they know exactly how to do it. They put FOC first. You can see FOC December 8th, all these amazing books. You just click right there, and bam, you can see all of the comics that are on FOC for December 8th from that distributor. I always recommend sorting it by A to Z. Makes your life a little bit easier. But if you would like the other end of the comic book spectrum, if you would like to see books that are coming out from Image, Dynamite, Oni, DC, and others, and hold on that, Kyle, because we'll talk about it momentarily, you're going to want to go to lunardistribution.com. Lunardistribution.com will introduce you to a website like this. You scroll down a few hairs to upcoming FOC. Make sure you're on the right date, and you can see all of those amazing comics, graphic novels, trade paperbacks, hardcovers, and more that Lunar is offering. One thing I will state, this week you're not going to see any DC comics. And you know why that is, Kyle?
Skip weeks.
It is skip weeks, yes. Every
I
now
totally forgot to get that graphic you wanted.
Actually have holidays. We as comic book retailers, we as comic book fans, we don't get holidays. We're here buying comics, ordering comics, and reading comics every single day of the week, 365 days out of the year, 366, I think, on a leap year. But DC likes to take days off, which, I mean, let's face it, considering the news that they're currently, potentially in, I understand wanting a day off this, holiday season. So it will mean that the Lunar FOC is a little bit shorter this week. But that gives us more time with our special guests, and that always has me excited because I want to welcome back to the show one of my favorite guests I get to drag on here all the time, the Director of Sales from Ignition Press, Dan Crary.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I love it. Can we just pan down and take in that beautiful...
This is my official Christmas sweater that I wear. This is actually, I think, the only time I've worn this not on Christmas morning. I wear this sweater on Christmas morning every year for 13 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I do have another Christmas sweater that I'll show you when we get to one of the books we're going to talk about, because it's not exactly PG. So we'll give it a brief showing. I want to give people plenty of warning to avert their eyes if they don't want to see a not safe for work sweater. I got one of those for a not safe for work book. So, but thanks for having me back, Mathias. Good to be here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for not only coming, but thank you for switching last minute into a Christmas theme outfit, because about 3 minutes ago, none of us were wearing anything Christmas themed, and this is upsetting Kyle to no end.
Listen, you put on that hat, you came back into frame and you had the hat on, and I was like, I know exactly where it is. I gotta go. My longest running relationship is with the bit. I am committed to the bit above all else. So happy to throw on a Christmas sweater, man.
There's something to be said for somebody who would put the Grinch on their body permanently.
Well, if we're talking about holiday tattoos, I do have a mistletoe tattoo. Unfortunately, I can't show you where it is on my body, but
there. Wow. Oh man, the comics, the more you know. So, in that, discovering information that can sometimes be a bit too much. Can we talk about some of the incredible books that Ignition is putting on FOC this week? Because you are doing one, you're not doing two, you're not even doing 3 books on FOC this week. Ignition is swinging hard with 5 titles and multiple covers on FOC for this December 8th?
This is our biggest FOC to date as a publisher. We have, we want to accommodate the holiday break for our printer specifically. So we front loaded a little bit with some subsequent issues. But first up, Bloodland #1. I'm very, very excited about this book. Look at you with the ash can. Heck yeah. This book is not only the return to comics of B. Claymore. Pardon me. Ooh, that coffee coming back. But a book that I don't know if this is going to feel topical or timely or not, but this is set in a world where the U.S. government is kind of overreaching its authority and kind of cracking down domestically with military force. The president has extended his term unconstitutionally beyond what is allowed. And in order to maintain his grip on power, he does what any politician would. He makes a deal with a cabal of European vampires to reinforce his power and solidify him. But like any deal with the devil, it's not going to work out too well for him. And that's just the world building. That's just the setup. Our POV character.
Imagine a world where
can you imagine government running amok, domestic crackdown, mobilizing the military domestically? I can't. It's too far-fetched, Mathias. It's too far out there. But this book's been a project that Clay has wanted to do for years. So it's kind of funny how the world turns when this is an idea yet about 7 years ago. So interesting foresight there. But and Mac Chater's art on this is absolutely stellar. I love the interiors on this one. They got this killer C cover here. The Sarantino cover that I really enjoy. That's our protagonist right there. Well, one of our main POV character, but this book has the kind of political intrigue and world building that you would get from a Department of Truth, but it has the sort of grounded reality of a dystopian tale, like a Y the Last Man, a Station 11, The Last of Us. So you get this high political intrigue, but the reality for the people on the ground is much more nuts, bolts, and blood, basically. Living in a world where vampires have not only taken over and are integrated into the U.S. government, but are harvesting people. This book is mature, and I mean mature. The first issue will shock and delight with the violence on display. It's these are ruthlessly illustrated vampires that do horrible and despicable things, and so it's so satisfying when these vampires get exactly what's coming to them.
But the thing I have to say I love about this is that this doesn't go too extreme in any direction. It feels like it doesn't become an overly political book. It doesn't become an overly action-packed, violent book. It doesn't become an overly vampire, just blade and blood and fangs. But this is very much a story-driven book, and it sucks you in. It kind of reminds me of what was the one about the Baltimore police detectives on HBO?
The Wire.
It kind of gives me that feel of The Wire. It just, it sucks you in with this really intriguing story. You don't know you think everything from the title, the vampire teeth, and everything, you know exactly where you're going to go with this, and it's not that. It is an incredibly amazing book with very different threads that all pull you in. So, having read the first issue already, in a few weeks, you guys are going to have this opportunity to just get sucked right in. And I will say, don't go in with any belief that you know what is going to happen. It is solid.
I think that's a fair assessment. Heather, our protagonist there, who's on screen. The twists and turns her journey is going to take, and what she's going to experience is not only horrifying and shocking, but also redemptive and enlightening. And her journey is going to be it's going to be a wild ride, folks. But this is a 12-issue series, so we're going to have over a year of fun in Bloodland. You're going to want to jump on board the train now. Many retailers still have the ash cans, like Mathias held up earlier. So if you're still unsure, pop in this weekend. check with your retailer, because the folks that have been ordering our ash cans, those are freebies for you. So you can check out the first, I believe it's 12 pages of the book, just there for free. So.
Yeah, it is an awesome thing. Actually, on that note, I want to talk about for retailers who are watching this show. When you place your orders for new books like Bloodland #1, you can qualify to receive ash cans. What is the ash can that is going to be qualified for on Bloodland?
Oh, you got me. You got me on that one. Hold on. I need to look, because.
Yeah, but this is something I will say. Well, Daniel's looking this up. This is a really cool thing that Ignition does. Is rather than just incentive variants, for retailers who are watching the show, Ignition does incentive pop items and promotional concepts that are done to help sell books and get people into reading. It's not a big money grab, race for the high end variants. Well, they do have ratio variants. They offer a lot of really cool incentives to help get people into reading. One of my favorite things that Ignition does is these ash cans that, as a retailer myself, I can give to fans so they can get excited about new upcoming things before FOC. And
our next one is for our new Dennis Hopeless project, Just Brutal. So for retailers, if you order 5 copies is our threshold. You can qualify for a 25 pack of ash cans for the new #1 that'll be out later in February from Dennis Hopeless, Just Brutal, which is absolutely fantastic. And I see my director of marketing also answered in the chat for us there, because I was like, it's either Just Brutal or Ripcord. It's either Just Brutal or Ripcord, and I didn't want to say the wrong one, so I had to look to be sure. But yeah, Just Brutal. Phenomenal story that is sort of Masters of the Universe meets Mitchell's versus the Machine by way of Kramer versus Kramer. It's a wild time. Mom and Dad are breaking up, and Skeletor returns. It's absolutely fantastic, wild stuff. We're here to talk about Bloodland, but Just Brutal is the ash can that retailers can qualify. And to keep it a little shop talky for just a second, the incentive items that we always have a incentive, a ratio cover. We try to, on every #1, we try to have an ash can as well, and then something fun in worldy or additional promotional items, posters, book displays, things like that. But the reason we've done it like this is in order to work within the confines of the PRH system effectively and provide higher quality materials for retailers. But the ash cans we've now set down as our lowest incentive item at only a 5 ratio. So once you get 5 copies, you can get 25 ash cans. So we're pretty happy about it. I think it's a fair trade to give you more promo material for the next round.
Yeah, I mean, and it is a great thing then also for the consumer, because one of my favorite parts, as the reader of comics, is not only that I'm going in to pick up an amazing new comic out each week, that when my retailer can offer me something that I might enjoy, that I can go home for free, flip through, look at this amazing artwork and get drawn in, and then have it perfectly timed that I can come back to the local comic shop and say, wow, this looks amazing. I can't wait to read the rest of this. Can you get this order in? You can still, if you don't have a copy of the Bloodland ash can, you can reach out to your local comic shop, see if they still have them available. Go in later today or tomorrow, pick it up and read the entire ash can before Monday, and then get back to them, because you're going to say, wow, Mathias and Dan were right. This is
what happens next.
I need to read this. And then it will be on stands on January 14th, waiting for you to pick up.
Exactly. I appreciate the love for the ash cans, Mathias. Our team works very hard. Big shout out to Jamie Rich, our editor-in-chief, and also Maggie, our editor on this book specifically, but also Scott, our incredible designer and head of brand, who puts these things together and makes them look so beautiful.
Yeah. Fun little gift for the holidays instantly in your hand, and that's a year-round thing from Ignition.
Yep. They're fun stocking stuffer sized, those ash cans. So
there you go. So the other big thing I always want to point out, you guys have this timed out perfectly and everything, but this is one of those things you want to get your orders into local comic shops before final order cutoff, because it guarantees you that number one. You're not having to worry about it. It is set aside in your pull box, your subscription box, your pull list, whatever your local comic shop calls it. It is there waiting for you, because you don't want these things to sell out. Ignition, while it's a new publisher, is super popular, and their comics are starting to sell out because they're so awesome and high demand. Thankfully, Dan, you guys have a solution when books sell out, right?
Yeah, when books sell out, we just go back to print. It's a crazy concept. Here we go. Voyeur #1 coming back to print. The beautiful Yannick cover that we've recolored for this one. We try to do a healthy overprint for everything. We want to make sure Ignition doesn't need to be your #1 bestseller, but I want to be the book that you can clear off the shelf. And when you clear it off the shelf, you can get more copies in. So we try to overprint by a healthy margin, and we don't print the second or third printing at the same time and then just sit on it and wait or anything crazy like that. We sell through in earnest, and then we go back to print. And I'm so pleased that Voyeur, what I would contend is the sexiest book currently on the shelves, is going back to print. So also on FOC this Monday, if you missed the sexy bandwagon, that is Voyeur, hop on in. The water's fine, so come on over and check Voyeur out.
I love that you guys always print a reasonable amount, because that's one of the biggest issues in the industry right now is so many publishers print based on orders, which is why it's important to get your orders in before FOC to guarantee these books, because sometimes these publishers look at, this is the total number we're getting requested from comic shops. We're going to print a hair above that just to deal with any potential damages or shortages, and that is it. And then they get to say, oh, look, it's sold out, as if it's a shocking thing, and go back to second, third, fourth, 11 printings of Absolute Batman. Anyone out there at all? They're on vacation today. But that being said,
no comment.
You guys had enough copies that we could order this, and we did, because it was in demand, and then it sold out, and you guys are on it already. And I hate that I own a first printing. I own multiple copies of the first printing of Voyeur #1, and that redesigned cover is so beautiful. I'm gonna have to repurchase it.
It's pretty. It's pretty. I think Voyeur being the sexy heist, tropical getaway story of your dreams. I mean, if you're a fan of White Lotus, you have to pick this one up.
Oh, yeah.
And it is the perfect solution to the winter blues. Like this story is tropical. It's erotic. It's like, okay, if you are enjoying Heated Rivalry that just came out on HBO. Now, granted, this is not an LGBTQ story, but you're feeling the heat this winter. Voyeur is going to be right up your alley. This is the sweater that I almost wore in honor of Voyeur. This is my bisexual Rudolph representation shirt that means so much to me. It was a gift from a dear friend. So that's my holiday party.
A dear friend?
Sweater. Huh? A dear friend.
A dear friend?
You're right there with me, man. Appreciate you, Kyle. But yeah, Voyeur was kind of the talk of San Diego this year for people that weren't there. Our incredible marketing director, Bree Sarpy, put together a burlesque show themed around this book that was out of this world, and one of the most unique activations I've ever seen for the launch of a title. It was very, very cool.
And I mean, once again, it was a sexy book, and it was a sexy book that was so sexy it didn't need an STD to get sexy. On that note, we go in there. I got to say that Bree still brought it to another level, because not only did she do a Voyeur activation, she also had beauty models there. So can we talk a little bit about beauty and give people context to that weird comment I just made?
So in the world of the beauty, there's an STD that if you contract it, it will make you Hollywood hot. It just instantly transforms you overnight. You get a terrible fever, and when you wake up, boom, you're gorgeous. But now the clock is ticking because you're going to die. But the covers have been these beautiful fashion models, and in the earlier ones, there was this cracking vein symptom that you can see in the book, and there were some iconic covers early on. So again, at San Diego, Bree had models that were airbrush painted live to have the beauty. And I'm speaking of big week for the beauty. Not only is issue number 3 of the new series on FOC, this will be coming out on sale the same week that the television show premieres. The television show from Ryan Murphy, FX on Hulu, will be premiering January 21st. That is a Wednesday, with I believe a 3-episode premiere. So they're gonna drop 3 of them and then keep going from there. But the long gestating, much anticipated. We haven't gotten the full trailer yet, but we saw some footage at New York Comic Con that was really incredible, and they just put out a bunch of images with the Hollywood Reporter earlier this week announcing that premiere date. So
that is exciting. I cannot wait. I loved the beauty back when it was coming out through Image. I am so glad that Jeremy, who is one of the heads of Ignition Press, is bringing the the concept and universe back with this new series that is easy to enter if you have it. But also, we just had, I believe, the beauty trade paperback for the mass market FOC.
correct.
And you're in a direct market, or if you're in a local comic shop, you can possibly still get the direct market trade.
Yes, there we had 2 versions. We did an early release for the beauty for the local comic shop day edition that collected what was the first 11 issues, $19.99 for over 260 pages of content, pretty solid. And we have now the new version that is going out to bookstores and everybody in a stunning blue cover that will be available same day on January 21st. So the day that the beauty television show premieres, you can pick up the mass market edition. Now, your local comic shop may still have a copy and can still order one in before then if you want to be ahead of the curve. You can get a copy of the Beauty Book 1 in the local comic shop day edition, which is a stunning yellow cover. And then we've got this beautiful blue cover, same content, just going wide to comic shops and bookstores on January 21st, same day as the TV show and same day as issue number 3 of the new series. It's just January 21st. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah. So retailers, perfect time to make sure you have stock of issue number 1 and number 2 alongside issue number 3, because people may not go crazy. I mean, they should be going crazy on Wednesday the 21st, but I guarantee you Thursday the 22nd, everyone's going to be pounding on their comic shop doors as if it would guarantee them a little bit of the beauty, so that way they can get it. I mean, what can I say? Like that comic kind of sells itself. It's an STD that makes you hot, so hot you literally light on fire, but it also is a comic that is so hot you need to read it.
The term that was dubbed in the 80s was high concept, right? A clean pitch that lets you know exactly what the thing is. And Jeremy Hahn, dare I say it, is a master of the high concept. If it isn't the beauty, I'd say his other book that's currently on the shelves, Murder Podcast, is another very clean, excellent high concept. And look at that seamless transition from our producer, Kyle. Everybody give Kyle a round of applause. Love for Kyle in the chat. Murder Podcast continues to roll along. Issue 4 is when shit really starts to hit the fan. We've got marital strife, people moving out. We've got my favorite sort of opening murder spree thus far, that has a car accident and lovers fighting each other. It's the premise of this book for the uninitiated is there is this ghostly podcast that appears in people's feeds. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know why it's there. But if you hear it, it sends you into a murderous rage. Once that episode comes on, you lose all sense of yourself and consciousness and just start attacking whoever's around you. This results in some horribly tragic deaths and mayhem. And then once the episode ends, you wake up. So we have people who in this instance are both listening to it in the opening, and so they're just listening in the car, and the fight against each other, and where it's a gruesome opening to this issue, but we're getting deeper into the mystery of where did this come from. There's some cult elements, there's some demonic things happening, and we're following this core group of women who are trying to unravel the mystery. And Jeremy has said it best. It is an homage to and a love letter to all the women in his life, and especially the true crime aficionados, and just the ever constant pursuit of justice that he has seen so present in the women in his life and women that he admires. And it really is, it's a love letter to the women who won't just lay down and say die, that will fight for answers and justice and to stop horrible things from happening. So it's really got a beautiful and enlightening story that is wrapped in a gruesome package, which is, dare I say, might be the Jeremy Hahn brand. Deep, beautiful sentiments in a truly disturbing, horrific grotesquerie of imagery wrapped around it that I find absolutely delightful.
What was that wonderful anthology he did during the pandemic? The Hauntology, or
Yep.
That's the visual right there with that title.
Oh yeah, that one with his self-portrait, the hat, the glasses, and his beard is the Cthulhu tentacles.
Yeah,
it's a great image.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I always, whenever we have a horror concept where somebody willfully gets themselves into a bad situation, like, I'm sorry, who 30 years ago was going to the rental place and saying, you know what, I'm pulling that VHS out and putting it into my VCR to have a woman come out and murder me. The Ring sounds awesome, but Murder Podcast nails it. Like, it gives me that understanding of why people end up in these situations. And I love this book. But I guess there's a place for everyone, of course, and you can see where I'm going with this. There's no place.
No place continues to be a sentence I never thought I would utter. The Tim Seeley isekai, because which is honestly something I didn't know I needed in my soul. Things keep cooking with gas. No Place is about a girl who is transported to another world, not unlike Alice or the kids in Narnia or any of those, a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, any classic literary reference like that. Returns years later, and everyone thinks she's lying. Everyone thinks she's made it up. The only evidence she has is a single feather from this enchanted jungle world that she was at. But it turns out not only did all of this happen, that's 100% real, but this has happened to other people. And there is an organization that works to maintain the boundaries between our world and other worlds, and any sort of incursions that happen there are fought against. And No Place, this organization, is headed up by none other than Dorothy Gale, Dorothy of the Wizard of Oz. So if you are riding high on Wicked fever right now, if you have been changed for good or ill, you should check out No Place. It's perhaps the most fun and interesting twist on the Oz narrative, where we're not retelling the Oz story. We're not doing Return to Oz. Those Wheelers are still the stuff of nightmares. That movie scares me to this day. But we're exploring that whole concept of getting transported to another world and what that does to a person psychologically. It's really a beautiful meditation on trauma with some truly spectacular artwork by Stefano Simeone. I love seeing the pages for this book come in, because I think the only word to really describe this art is sumptuous. It's beautiful. This book has deep, moody colors. That cover of his there, that's a good expression of what this book feels like. And I'm a fan. I feel like it's the kind of book that you can fall into and get lost in, and then by the time I finish reading, I just need another issue.
Yeah, I mean, 2025 is unquestionably the year of Tim Seeley. He's been writing for decades, but he is at every publisher right now: IDW, Marvel, DC, obviously Ignition. but I'll tell you, this is a masterpiece. This is the book of PTSD for when you click your heels together and say there's no place like home.
I need the transcript, Kyle. That quote's going on the back of the trade.
But no, I mean, this is absolutely. I really hate to say it because like there's a lot of brilliance coming out at Ignition. Things that we didn't even talk about because they're not on FOC this week, like Arcadia. I mean, Roots of Madness. There's so many brilliant books, but I think No Place is my favorite.
I'm glad to hear that. I do think this is the year of Tim Seeley. So thrilled to see how well the television adaptation of Revival went. Extremely well received on Sci-Fi. Seeing him write Masters of the Universe over at Dark Horse is like
now an ongoing series.
They're like, come on, give us more. And Tim's someone I've known in comics for a number of years. One of my favorite people. To every time I get to see him at a convention, it's always a good time. From Vault days, working with him on Money Shot and West of Sundown and some of his other projects. He's just a great guy, and I really am thrilled to see 2025 really be his year. Like you say, he's been doing this for 20 years. Like he's been an industry staple for a long time, but one of the hardest working men in comics, no question.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, the man does it all: writing, drawing. He's all about it.
Yeah.
So some amazing. That's 5 books. 5 books on FOC from Ignition Press this week.
Now, for the retailers out there, you got one email this morning about our number 1 in our reprint. You're going to get another email from me this afternoon with these subsequent issues. So sorry about it. Sorry for the double tap. But Mathias, it's always good to be here. Thank you for letting me talk about all this stuff. I'm not trying to get out of here. Just trying to say I'm thanks for the invite. It's always a good time.
Well, I got to say, again, having had the opportunity to flip through this, the reason I reached out to you is I'm like, I need to read more. I need to read more. He can tell you, like, I interrupted him being on stage, to be like, hey, I need more Bloodland immediately.
Yeah, to paint a picture, I'm backstage. I'm in costume. The overture has started, but the character I'm playing doesn't come on until 55 minutes into the show. So I see Mathias calling. I'm like, I got time. What's up, buddy?
But no, I mean, it's great. I'm excited. And to give everyone a heads up, you got a lot to order this Monday from Ignition Press. But don't worry, it's not going to slam into you all on one release date, because Bloodland will come out January 14th alongside Murder Podcast. Then, of course, as we mentioned, the Beauty TV series will debut the Wednesday after on January 21st alongside Beauty number 3. And for those who like those extra sexy comics, that reprint of Warrior number 1. And then we end cap January with that beautiful January 28th release of one of my personal favorites, No Place number 3. So it's a good spread out little January there.
And again, we wanted to accommodate our printer and their holiday schedule, so we had to get a few things in a little sooner than we would normally FOC them. But it's all gonna come out in the wash, and it's a nice rollout of books. January is gonna be a great month.
Yeah, and I mean, I love that this is always a cool thing. So when people ask these questions of how do FOCs happen like that, I mean, obviously it's a holiday season. You want to make sure that no matter what holiday your printer is celebrating, they get the opportunity to have some time off with their family and everything. But you guys put them through the ringer too, because again, not only are they publishing these they're printing these very beautiful books, they're also individually numbering every single one. And I every time I have you on, I make you talk about this, but
let me grab. I'll grab a No Place, since we've been given No Place love. Yeah. On the back of every Ignition title, you will always find a few key features. We place our logo at the top with the talent very clearly. On the barcode, you will be able to see exactly which cover and the name of the artist. And then on the back, we give you the complete talent breakdown with lettering and colorist if separate from the line artist. A summary of the book, so without flipping through it and getting yelled at by somebody, this isn't a library. You can know exactly what the book is about before you carefully crack it open and take a peek. And last, but certainly not least, every single book is individually serial numbered. We were just having a conversation with our printer about some other possibilities of doing stuff on the back there. But big shout out to Joe, our incredible production master, who generates a list based on our print run of random numbers that get put into a random spreadsheet and then fed to the printer, and then it gets randomly distributed and then randomly assembled. So we never know what number is going to end up where. We always, when we get our comps in at the company, we have a little game to see who got the lowest number or who got a fun number, or, you know, everybody's trying to get different things. So whenever you see an Ignition book on the shelf, pick it up and flip it around. Just take a peek. You know, you never know. There might be some number ones, very first one off the line out there. You never know.
See, that's what I want. I'm waiting for somebody to show me a number one. I've gotten some cool numbers, you know, but I want to see a 000000000 because you're printing so much. One.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if somebody watches this and you come across an Ignition, any issue, any cover, any title, you come across number one, please send a photo. I want to see a number one Ignition press book.
Yeah, the lowest I've seen personally is I've got a 27, and one of my colleagues got I think a 19, but I don't think I've actually seen. Maybe I did see one single digit one. I'm trying to remember. I think it was an 8 or a 7 possibly, but I have not seen the elusive number one.
Yeah, I have 2 double digit ones, but yeah, I've yet to even see a single digit. So that's, I mean, mind you, there's only 9 per issue in covers, but
yeah,
that's a really cool, fun added thing. So no matter what, you're getting an amazing story, a beautiful cover, a great comic, but then to have those cool numbers, like, look, if you get number 378, you're still getting an awesome book. But man, if you get like you get number 100 or you know, number 69 or 67, you know, that's some fun stuff. But man, number one, that's a treat.
I think you know, everybody's got those comics that mean the world to them. For the first comic I remember buying, like picking out and spending my own money on, was Detective 700. This would have been probably like 95. And my individual copy, I know, because it's waterlogged, it's torn. It was, I remember every page. I read that comic over and over again for years. So I know exactly what my copy looks like, but I don't have an individual number to point to and say that, well, my copy is this number. And I think that's going to be, whether you're a speculator, collector type, or just a reader, however you engage with comics, I think it's a fun added thing to say, oh, well, I have copy number blank, 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 you know, 1325. I have copy number. I'll tell you, my secret number that I'm always looking for is 1066. That's the one I'm always looking for, 1066. It's Battle of Hastings, signing of the Magna Carta. It's a fun little historical date. Yeah.
That's I like that. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Mom was a history teacher.
So I want to remind everyone, because we love talking to Dan, that we've been talking to him for 40 plus minutes now. If you want more of Dan and you want more of Ignition, where can we find you online?
Come find us at Ignition Press on all social channels. And I'll see at any of our retail friends. I will see you in person in February for the Comics Pro annual meeting. If you are a Comics Pro member or not, highly recommend attending. It is one of the best summits of the minds in this industry, and a chance to not only collaborate and talk about what problems you're facing, what successes you've had, and make your opinion known, but just strengthen the bonds, have a name to a face, and be able to have a contact at major publishers and feel the way we want you to feel on the publishing side. We want you to know that we're here for you and we're partners in this together. And I feel like the Comics Pro annual meeting, I believe it kicks off February 18th this year, is one of my favorite events of the year. So I'll see folks in person there. You may see the specter of me around LA around Christmas time. But other than that, we can't announce our full convention plans yet, but you'll be the first to know, Mathias. I'll let you know when we have that, when we're ready to announce that.
We'll make sure to drag you back then. So, out of curiosity, do you have to run off and do all the busy work that it requires?
I'll hang out.
out?
I do have another call in about an hour, hour 10. So I can't stay. I can't stay forever. But I will very quickly excuse myself to let my dog out because she's been pawing. But I will return momentarily. I will be right back. You queue up the PRH site, and I'll be.
All right, Kyle. So I want to remind everyone, you go to prhcomics.com, click on FOC for December 8th so you can see all of these amazing books that we're going to place A to Z. Look at that. Kyle throwing on a hat to be festive, too. Red hat, though. Ah, I can't hear you. We'll get Kyle back. We'll get Kyle's audio in something here. The producer, he makes all of this work except for himself. There he is. There. Oh, nope. No. Oh, all right. Well, Kyle gets that worked out. Let's start talking about some of the amazing books that are on FOC this Monday, December 8th. We have A Heron Son is Indecipherable, getting a new omnibus collection. You can get 2 of the traditional Tonkabon format books for this cute little story of a young girl who just has no spatial awareness or understanding of proximity. She's either way too close to you in your face or way too far away to even be heard until she meets Radio, a young male friend that she all of a sudden falls for and now needs to be at his side every chance she gets. It's a cute, fun little one from 7 Seas. It's already had a big anime adaptation, so now we're getting an omnibus format to collect them all to make it so it's accessible once again if you loved that anime and need more. We have a ton of continuing amazing series as aliens fight Captain America and Alien versus Captain America issue number 3. The battle of Hobgoblin versus Norman Osborn Spider-Man continues in ASM number 20. Joe Kelly really making this interesting. I love that we're getting Space Peter Parker, New York Norman Osborn. It keeps it very interesting. And then I also have to say, I love these Libremeijo Visions variants. Each one giving a key moment from Spider-Man history. This is that infamous battle between Spidey and the Juggernaut. Well, we're also having a monthly theme across the Marvel line of Clayton Crane variants. Those ones I'm personally a little less intrigued by. I feel this was one of those ones that we're getting a lot of phoned in, like file, drawer artwork, because it does not seem to match the costumes relating to the books on any of these. But I know there's some big Clayton Crane fans out there. So
it occurs to me.
Yes.
It occurs to me that they may have just had this art and been like, we never use this. Let's put it on a cover. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I'm always curious on that. Like with we had the JSC, the Just Something Cool variants for J. Scott Campbell. And again, it feels like it's a lot of file artwork. Like it's just, Marvel felt the need, like we need an extra cover on every book this month. Oh, I thought that was going to get a lot more commentary from everyone, but okay.
No, well, because my thing is you can put J. Scott Campbell art on anything, and I'm probably going to look at it at least 85 times. So, I don't really. I was good with those. I'm not going to be running out to my store to buy Clayton Crane.
Yeah.
I will be 100% honest. I'm not usually a variant guy unless it's an artist that I know personally and I'm friends with, like Maria Wolf, dear friend, love to pieces. You put Liana Kangas on a cover, I'm gonna buy a Liana Kangas cover every time because Liana is a homie forever. But 100%. Most of the new variants that I've picked up have been things I've seen on this show where I go, wow, that cover is really cool. I gotta get that.
Hey Mathias. Can you scroll up just a little bit? I want to mention, keep going. Right there, Ariel, there you go, that one. So my mom, if you don't know, like I'm a fan of books. My mom ran a literacy program for most of my life, teaching kids in elementary schools, reading and phonics and that kind of stuff. And these step into reading books have been in my house as long as I can remember. These books, guys, are so important. They're so hugely helpful for young readers in your life because they tell you what reading their level. They tell you what reading level the reader needs to be at, and they're written in such a way that kids who struggle with reading can still get through them and make them better readers. So like this one is a level 2. There's a Wednesday one that's out this week that is later down that's a level 3. So again, as you have young readers in your life, like now when you're going to the local comic shop to pick up your Spider-Man, you can get them something that will help them be able to, I don't know, read Spider-Man later. Some of us had to learn to read using Stan Lee words. Other people can like get books that are meant for that.
Yeah. No, actually, oddly enough, I was going to bring it up with a later book, but since we have this on screen now, I want to point out. I mean, my son personally, was a child of the pandemic. He started school at the same time as the pandemic, which I think affected a number of children. If you're starting, kindergarten at a time where you can't go into schools and you're on a laptop, it became difficult. And I know not only my son, but a lot of his classmates are further behind in reading than they can. And these, whether they're further behind or not, these are great tools for young readers or anyone, even second language learners. These are amazing tools because these step into reading all use identifiable characters that we love, whether it's Disney's Princess Ariel to Netflix's Wednesday, Addams Family Wednesday, however we want to say that. There's video game characters from Minecraft to Among Us. Star Wars characters are my son's favorite ones. They help get you into those reading levels because as a comic retailer or just a bookstore owner in general, it is helping to form a future generation of readers who associate not only the enjoyability of reading, but the characters and icons they love, whether they discovered them in video games, movies, cartoons, or just their friends and families' love of these characters. And I think these are incredibly useful. I love that thanks to Penguin Random House, we have these available not only in bookstores, but in comic shops. And these are great things to, especially for the holidays. We're talking about things that are going to be releasing in January, but you can reach out to your local comic shop, or if you're a local comic shop, look at your distributors to see what is available. These are great Christmas tools, but these are year-round, iconically perfect items for someone in your life, if not you yourself.
I was in a shop this week building a display for them that's Little Golden Books, these, and a couple of other like introductory phonics early reader books that they're able finally to get because of PRH.
Yeah.
So it's great that you're able to bring all of this together. And again, dad, uncle, cousin goes in to buy their comic books. Now they can buy gifts. They can buy little things for their little readers. So
yeah,
shout out to those books.
Yeah, but I will also say they're great, for second language learners. I am constantly trying to learn new languages, and there is a delightful French equivalent, and it always feels weird because I'm like reading like this little Spider-Man kids book that's designed for younger readers, but it's in French and it is helping with my French. So there we go. Going to a completely different realm, not only a different part of the Marvel universe, but a different part of the Marvel galaxy. Let's talk about Black Panther Intergalactic, because this is one where, once again, the number one isn't going to hit stands until December 17th. So it's always important to be aware. But Victor Laval, of all people, is going to be writing this. So I know it's going to be an exciting piece. Victor is a brilliant writer, and he is putting Black Panther through the ringer on this intergalactic quest. And now dragging in T'Challa's little sister, Shuri, who is kidnapped, and now on top of having this intergalactic adventure, has to try and track down her brother. I think this is fun. I love this EM Gist cover. I think that Eric is always one of the most brilliant artists in the industry. This is exciting. So make sure if you're enticed at all by this book, you let your local comic shop know, because they won't have any sales numbers for this series by the time they have to finalize this order. Then, have we talked about Bloodland at all yet?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's all a wash. I love that A cover. I really do.
Yeah. B. Claymore back in comics, like the man behind Hawaiian Dick, like I'm excited about this. We talked about this to a great extent, but this is a perfect chance to show off what it looks like on PRH Comics and remind you not only do you get all that information here, you can get the what the book is about. You can see all of the covers. You can even see future issues. So this is something really cool about PRH Comics is you can get additional information. If you liked what you heard from Daniel and everyone at Ignition about this, you can go check it out on PRH Comics and discover more. And make sure you choose the cover that you want for not only this issue, but with a simple click, future issues of the series. So I'm excited on that. And then because Kyle mentioned it, not just step into reading books, little golden books.
What?
Sure
A Bob's Burgers ABC book?
Yes.
I gotta quit doing this show, Matthias, because every time I have to call my shop afterwards and buy a but remember I was here a little while ago and I said, oh, I need that Batman Beyond Static Shock book. Oh, I need that Poison Ivy annual variant. And that you're costing me. It costs me money every time I come on here.
That's our goal. Yeah, I love it. I mean, with Bob's Burgers, I'm waiting for the next episode. We had its 300th episode of this beloved series, and this is a great one. Whether it's for, and this is my favorite part, whether it's for young readers or not. Like little golden books are obviously designed to be read for younger readers or people who are working on their literacy. But I can't tell you how many times I sell these books to adults, to my wife. She loves these, she got the Golden Girls little golden book because we just love the concepts in them and it's fun. Everyone I feel has good memories of these little golden books dating back decades. And I don't mean like 2 or 3. This stuff goes back into mid 20th century. The little golden books are classic reader items, and it's so cool to see them modernized with with modern icons like Bob's Burgers. So always fun. Another great one to consider if you're looking for post-holiday gifts, great ways to keep people who maybe you got an awesome comic for Christmas or another book and you want to keep them excited about reading because we all love reading here. So a lot of fun ones. I mean, and again, there you can see the step into reading with Lilo and Stitch and more. More Clayton Crane covers. All that fun. This is the book I can guarantee I'm going to be getting my kid, the DK Super Readers, which are much like the Step into Readings for Ahsoka, our Rebel Jedi, because he loves Ahsoka. And I do like that the DK ones will come in both soft cover and for some really unnecessary reason, very pricey hardcovers at $19 as opposed to $6 for the soft cover. But you know what?
That's a step up.
Yeah, but I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I'm probably going to spend $19 on the hardcover.
Listen, they see me coming every time, man. I know.
Another one I want to talk about, though, is Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four 6-hit stands this week, and it was an incredible story for Sue Storm, our Mrs. Fantastic. Not only if you didn't grab it already, it has a code for a skin on Marvel Rivals, one of the most popular video games out there. But it is a 2-part story, and I really wanted to stress again, if you're not reading Ryan North and Humberto Ramos' Fantastic Four, this is the best Fantastic Four we've had in years. I would say the best since Jonathan Hickman. It is incredible. I love this Scotty Young cover right here. But this is awesome. This is part 2 of our Invincible Woman story. Not Invincible Woman. And there's a reason. So great book. If you are not checking this out, go grab issue number 6 on stands. Well, it's still on stands because I feel that's going to be a book to get a second printing, and then get number 7 on order. Let's see. A lot of great books, a lot of great trades. One on the topic of horror anthologies that we were on at the start of the show. Hello, Darkness. Hello, Darkness is a great Boom Studios horror anthology, and I love that they always have a staple creative team and story within the anthology. It opened up with Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan doing The War. Then we had an incredible one by R.L. Stine. The newest one starts in issue 18, which is on FOC this week, by good friend Sam Humphries. Sam Humphries is oddly enough telling a story about baseball in this horror anthology called Cassie. He's doing it with Eleonora Carlini. I think this is awesome. I've been loving these. Have you had a chance to flip through any of the Hello Darkness yet, Dan?
Oh no! When it came out, I was working at Oni, and it was a fireable offense to pick up Hello Darkness. I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm kidding. No, yeah, I have picked up Hello Darkness, and I think they're doing great work over there. Big props to the editorial team for assembling like all-star talent and keeping that thing going up to issue 18 now. It's nice to see an anthology continue like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Though, as you point out, Oni and their horror anthology, the incredible EC series, we will be talking about that in a little bit in Lunar, because I honestly think, I know you said that in jest, obviously, but like this is a great time to where it feels like we're in the 1950s pre-code horror era of just having multiple horror anthologies, from Ice Cream Man, from wonderful, holiday themed ones like Dread the Halls and the Startling Santa Tales, to EC's Cruel Universe and Epitaphs from the Abyss, Boom's Hello Darkness. We're in a big, and it is frightful because it might say something about the times we're in, but we're in a big time for horror and horror anthologies. And it's really cool that we're getting so many incredible horror anthologies available, because I'm not even a huge horror fan, and I'm buying them all up.
Yeah. They're stunning books.
Yeah. Now, speaking of a time as we prepare ourselves for, actually, hold on. I got ahead of myself. I got to talk about Hulk Smashes Everything. We talked about Hulk Smashes Everything when number 1 was on FOC, and I said I was hopeful for it. So now, as issue number 1 is out this past week, I do have to express this was everything I wanted and so much more. If you want smart, thought-provoking Hulk stories, Philip Kennedy Johnson has been bringing you that in Incredible Hulk and now Infernal Hulk. But if you're like me and you want dumb, grammatically incorrect Hulk punching big monsters, Hulk Smash Everything is that. As Hulk gets sucked back in time to the age of dinosaurs, and Hulk hate dumb dinosaurs, Hulk smarter than dumb reptiles.
Yeah.
That is that book.
Hulk no evolve into chicken.
Yes.
Hulk no bird relative.
Hulk smarter than, that was actually one of my favorite lines from issue number 1. Hulk smarter than dumb birds. But this is an amazing book. Again, Ryan North. It's you get a year for Tim Seeley and a year for Ryan North, who got the big Marvel event. He's just been knocking it out of the park with Star Trek Lower Decks and all these amazing books over at Marvel. But yeah, Hulk Smash Everything. I had to do a pause and emphasize, like, go to your local comic shop, grab Hulk Smash Everything number 1, and then demand a copy of number 2, because I guarantee you, use the last page of Hulk Smash Everything number 1, and you're going to need number 2, because it's crazy enough Hulk went back in time to fight dinosaurs. There's something in that exact same time period Hulk can't fight. And that says something. Unless Hulk does smash everything. More so many great little golden books, too. Disney villains, I Am Maleficent, TMNT's I Am Raphael, and my favorite Avatar: Last Airbenders, I Am Sokka. So I'm gonna have way too many little golden books in January. It's gonna be.
Is there such a thing as too many little golden books?
It is, because the one flaw I will state with little golden books is when you have them spine out on a shelf, you just have a golden bookshelf. It's like, which book am I grabbing? Another one I will point out for my son's sake, aside from all those little golden books that are totally for my son, this one is I Escaped an Enderman. For you Minecraft fanatics out there, I hear the Endermen are kind of hard to beat. They're, as my son would put it, they're pretty sus.
Yeah. Sus is the word.
Sus is the word. And again, if you need that smarter, more thought-provoking Hulk, Infernal Hulk is getting a second printing, as it deserves. Philip Kennedy Johnson knocked that one out of the park. But let's go back to what I was saying earlier. Speaking of an age, starting in January, the X books return, exiting out of the Age of Revelation that Kyle went off about for like the last 6 months of this show. We are returning to the tradition of the X books with our traditional writers in the modern era. Gail Simone back on Uncanny, Jed McKay back on the main X title. And because it's the year of Tim Seeley is going to launch 2026 with Inglorious X-Force. And yes, it sounds like the Inglorious, Bastards, if you ask me.
Yep, but, I'm sure that's very intentional.
Yeah, but talk about a powerful team. Cable has Archangel, Boom, Helverine, and more. I mean, like, let's see who else is on this crazy team. No, I think I nailed everyone there. Helverine, Archangel, Boom Boom, Cable, but a million incredible covers on this. I'm not normally. I mean, this is starting to become the theme of the show. I'm not normally this, but check out this book. But it is a deserving factor because I wouldn't say it otherwise. I do not want my name attached to bad books. That's why I keep Dan around, because I will only talk up positive things of Ignition, but Inglorious X-Force, like, this is awesome.
It's going to be rad. And Tim Seeley and Jordan Blum together. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I love Jordan's work with Patton Oswalt on
Minor Threats.
Minor Threats. Thank you. I was like, the book at Dark Horse. There's a bunch of it. The one.
Yeah, I wonder if Jordan and Tim met with Minor Threats, or if that was just unrelated.
Oh, I'm sure they've bumped into each other before.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this one definitely looks enticing. A lot of great covers. One of them I'm gonna spoil is in the top 10. So really intriguing things as we go through. All sorts. I mean, a ton of great all ages reading on this week's FOC. Some very unique manga, but one I have to give a shout out to, the incredible Square Enix doing Mechanical Buddy Universe 1.0, which is some interesting pairings of human and AI, robot, artificial intelligence, cyborgs combined. And for the most part, we're in an era, I think we all can agree, we hate AI or you love AI, but it is rare to see something that does pair, artificial intelligence and cybernetics with humans in the modern era. However, with this one, I believe this one has a anime. It is the thrilling sequel to the Mechanical Buddy universe, but I don't think it has an anime yet. But this one definitely caught my attention as a very interesting looking manga. But Takuji Kato doing this. It's Square Enix, so I mean, they have a great track record. I don't think that Square Enix
Enix doesn't miss. In my experience, I got my Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You up there. I've got the current volume 5. I haven't cracked open yet. I'm saving that as a treat for the weekend.
That will be quite the treat, I will say. I do hate that. As much as I love that manga, it has driven me to smoking again because I just can't help it after reading it. But it is that good. So, Moomin fans, I know that's a huge one. Moomin Troll builds a house. Little golden book, always fun. Obviously, you got to show off more of that murder podcast. Look at those amazing covers for issue number 4 on FOC this week. We have New Avengers also from Sam Humphries. No Place. Man, it's like these Ignition books are just stacked on here.
Stacks on stacks on stacks. We got a busy week here. It's been a fun one.
Yeah. And then with it, some big ones for Marvel. Planet She-Hulk. Though again, I gotta say, these file covers from Clayton Crane. Look, Clayton's a great artist, but I want to see She-Hulk in her scar, giant sword, battle armor. All right, where is it, Kyle?
Hey,
give it.
Can we talk about Pigwife?
Yeah, talk about Pigwife from Abby Luck.
Yeah, so Abby Luck, I know from the short film world. She's a short filmmaker, but she does animated shorts. This is her debut graphic novel. It's the story of a girl who winds up going back with her family to where they're from to settle the estate of a dead relative. Gets in a big fight with her mom and stepdad, goes running off into a abandoned gold mine, just to get away from everybody. when she goes to finally leave the gold mine to go back to her family, she realizes she's stuck and she's not alone. So this is a kind of a psychological horror, but also a coming of age story. But Abby has a long history of graphic storytelling, but not in comics. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. The other thing that makes this sort of intriguing to me is that the day job of Abby's graphic company is they make apps and things to help folks who are going through cancer treatments. So the way that she specifically sees storytelling and sees even dark storytelling has a lightness that kind of lifts people. So kind of excited to see how this goes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. This is amazing. I'm glad. I hate to say it wasn't on my radar until you brought it up. So this is one of those times where you get to be reversing Kyle selling me a book. But yeah, this looks absolutely amazing. This is coming out from IDW. It's on FOC this Monday, obviously. But yeah, this is really unique art. I love the special effects piece right here. Of the sound effect mixing in with the artwork and doing the panel break. That is amazing.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting sort of story, like coming of age horror dystopia thing, like all of it wrapped together in one. And again, Abby is a new comic storyteller, so all you can, I hate to be like this guy, but all you can do is hope it's awesome. Like,
yeah,
and it's a big book, 536 pages.
Wow, 536 pages. That is huge.
At $34.99, like nice. Well, I credit where it's due. Nice work, Top Shelf. Like,
yeah, that is
Yeah.
awesome. All right, well, I'm adding that to my FOC order.
Yeah.
Right, man.
Dang it, Kyle! Now you're costing me more money.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I love it. I love it. That was actually a really good one. Thank you for stopping me on that, Kyle.
And that's the thing, Dan, is I'm always the one who's like, hey, can we talk about this really obscure, small, expensive book over here? Because, like, again, that's as much as, like, believe me, I've got every cover of Murder Podcast, including a couple of the ones that I'm not allowed to share on social media. The stuff I collect is like these weird, obscure hardcovers and, like strange, non-Batman to go with my Batman. So
I feel.
Oh man, I love that you brought up that secret cover, because I know I got drunk one time and was like texting Dan's boss Philip, like what is this cover? I need to see it. Where is it? And he held to his guns. He did not share it with me.
Can't do it, won't do it.
But yeah, no, love it. So now we put this in the viewers of so many people who are going to be like bugging Dan, like what is this cover? I want to know. How do I get it? It's too late.
Slide into the DMs. I'll send you the right way to get the cover.
Ooh, there it is. I like it.
At
as
Dan
long as they
Crary, you can find me anywhere.
Yeah, Dan's not dumb like Tormund giving out his cell phone number.
On the show?
Every time.
On the show, every time. He gets a little streaming ticker bar for it.
I love that boy.
Yeah.
Torma, if you're watching, you're one of my favorites. And I will text you back. I didn't forget the thing you asked me.
There it is. So Erica Schultz is also reviving some X books. Rogue gets a brand new #1, and this is an interesting concept because Rogue's life has gotten pretty near perfect recently. She's got an amazing Creole husband who I'm certain can cook like my greatest desires. She's a big figure in the X universe, and yet there's one small part of her that still can't help but have that darker side that wants to be the villain. So when she goes to hang out with Mommy and Destiny, it becomes the question of, will that bring the dark side out of Rogue? I'm really excited about this because, look, it's Rogue. We all love Rogue. She is perhaps one of the most beloved modern X characters. It is a new launch with the new Shadows of Tomorrow that's going across the X line. And look at all these covers. Beautiful, beautiful covers. But love that Gurihiru one right there, too. But Erica Schultz, along with Luigi Zagaria, I think this is going to be a fun one. Now, again, I've stated I'm a Star Wars fan, and I've stated I will drop $19 on a kid's reading book. But if you want to talk about a high quality Star Wars hardcover that's a must own, once we scroll through all these amazing S books, the one I cannot emphasize enough is Star Wars Legends Legacy, because it is finally getting an omnibus. This is my favorite Dark Horse era Star Wars comic ever.
Me too.
Oh, John Ostrander, Jan Darusima, Dan Parsons, Travel Foreman. This is amazing.
I have the complete run in singles.
Yeah.
I love this. This series is what brought me back to comics as a teenager. I love this book so much. And how many issues does this one collect?
This one, it has issue 41 awkwardly in it. It is issue 0, the half issue, and then the first 36 main. 41 oddly is in there. I can't recall why 41 is randomly in there. I think that was part of the crossover with the out of time with the other Star Wars books. Like,
was it, what do they call it? Far Vector or something like that?
Yeah, that's a Vector.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Oh,
yes. Wow. Okay, I'm glad I have another fan of this so we can talk about it. So, set over 120 years after Return of the Jedi, this is part of the last Star Wars story before Kathleen Kennedy came in and said this is all legends. This is an amazing tale of the great grandson of Luke Skywalker, and he is not a Jedi. Despite that lightsaber, he is far from it. After the rule of 2 for the Sith is broken, and we lead to a new empire of the Sith rising up.
Mathias, I can't believe I get to actually you. It's his great-great-grand nephew, because that's Cade's Solo. He's not a Skywalker.
No. You're thinking, no, he's Cade Skywalker. He is.
No, he's Solo, isn't he?
You're thinking of Jaina Solo, which is, that one would be the niece.
I could have sworn that he was Solo.
This is the descendant of Luke and Mara Jade. All right, someone's going to call us out. We're going to find this out.
No, you're right. You're right. I was wrong. You're right.
It's Legacy Volume 2, which was Karina Becco and Gabriel Hardman, dealt with the Solo descendant.
You're right. Correct. I concede. I bow. I step away.
I love though that you did that, because like I don't get to have these moments, but
I know. Oh God, why was I remembering him as being a Solo? There was a Solo that showed up in this series though.
Yes, and then of course, obviously, Legacy Volume 2 did deal with Jaina, but yeah, no, I mean, I love it. I actually literally have original artwork right behind my this camera
from the series.
Yeah. Oh man, Dan Parsons is a good. I actually have like so much Dan Parsons, Jan Darusima stuff. I have like the Nightwing Convergence wedding, back here. I have so much stuff. The old Republic series.
Does he still have pages from this book?
Yes, he does actually. If you reach out to Dan Parsons, you can still get.
I'm going to his website right now.
Yeah, tell him I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Star Wars Legacy. Oh, this is one. I mean, so now you're getting it from both me and Dan. This is one of the most beloved Star Wars series. You need to grab this. There is a great Jan Darusima cover that is very deserving, but there is also a direct market exclusive cover right there by Travis Charest. I'm just going to tell you, you'll see it again larger a little bit later today. This is a must own for Star Wars fans. Yeah, so much fun.
Hell yeah.
All right. Obviously, Stranger Things final season currently on Netflix. So if you need a little bit more Stranger Things love, you're afraid of it ending without you getting enough, the Stranger Things Tales from Hawkins 2 graphic novel is on FOC this week. That one isn't coming out till March.
Damn.
But, it'll give you once you've wrapped and you think like, oh man, Stranger Things is over, you can go dive back in with the graphic novels. Then another one that I hate to say coming up on its final season is Netflix, who is just consistently sitting in the news as of today. Netflix is wrapping up The Witcher with season 5.
Wow.
Which I hate to say I haven't seen season 4 yet, so I haven't seen the Hemsworth, Geralt, but I love The Witcher, so I'm just gonna jump ahead, rather than scrolling for it. The Witcher Bloodstone will continue to give us more Witcher tales. Daniel Friedman taking over writing on the new miniseries for the Bloodstone, as Dark Horse continues giving us more tales of Geralt. I mean, personally, I want some Witcher comics featuring Ciri.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, look, we still have Ciri on live action. Hopefully, I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll get a spin-off Witcher TV series focusing on Ciri. But this gives us some more Geralt fun. And I will say, these comics, they get some great European, artists to draw. Like, these are beautiful books. They really draw me in. Like, I love the novels. I've enjoyed what I've seen so far of the TV series, and these comics are right up there. They're good. You a fan of The Witcher, Dan?
I really enjoyed the first couple seasons of the show. Super fun. I haven't played the video games, haven't read the novels, haven't read the comics, but I liked the show.
Yeah. That is my one flaw. That is my weakness. I haven't played any of the video games yet for The Witcher, and I'm sure somebody will yell at me for that. But
I can't get too invested into a video game because it'll just take over my life. I had to hide my Switch from myself because Hades 2 was just eating up too many hours of the day.
I understand that. Speaking of video games, one of my son's favorite video games right there, Among Us, is getting a great step into reading with Who's the Imposter. Guarantee you that's on my FOC list. And then, of course, I said it already, I own multiple covers of The Voyeur. This isn't your fault, Dan. This is Bree's fault. I own multiple covers of The Voyeur. But now it is your fault that I'm going to get yet another with this beautiful second printing.
What can I say? We had an internal discussion and we decided, let's just recolor this one specifically to target Mathias.
I knew it. I knew that my name was in that meeting. Where's the cap?
Quickly, 2 books over. Where's Harmony? Is a Korean story. Harmony is grandmother in Korean. The story is about, and I looked at this when I was doing my own order. It's really about the loss of culture as generations remove from ancestral homelands. So these 2 young Korean children wind up being sucked into a land of Korean fairy tale and discover their own culture that, because their grandmother has passed away, isn't there to teach them. So this is more of a young reader's book, but kind of a fun way to think about the way we lose culture and why it's important to ask your grandparents, hey, what was that like?
That's really cool. I like that.
The show.
Look at that watercolor effect on that one. Beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful.
The reflection in there and everything.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Well, I did just get a K-pop Demon Hunters Derpy Tiger Funko Pop, so I guess I now need a little bit more Korean culture.
A little.
And a book for my kid. So,
oh yeah.
I like it. All right. So let's wrap up PRH really quick. I mean, there's some amazing things on FOC, so make sure you scroll through and check it all. But let's wrap it up with the return of Jed MacKay's X-Men main title in the Shadows of Tomorrow release for January, X-Men 24, as we are getting the Gene Terrorist Group 3K. Just every time I have to look that up because it is so hard to remember a 2-letter name. 3K. So, all right, we're picking up right where things were left off with Jed MacKay. So it's a perfect time. Remind your local comic shop, whether you were picking up every issue of Age of Revelation, you want to dive back into it, or you took a pause for Age of Revelation like Kyle did, and you want to dive back into the X books. Definitely let your local comic shop know that you want to check out these new X titles or return to the pre-existing ones so they are in your pull, and orders reset themselves after that 3-month vacation of sorts. Now, with that said, let's pop on over to Lunar. Now, Lunar doesn't have DC on FOC this week, so this is going to be a short little trip through Lunar, but there's still some big books. I mean, quite literally big books if you're an Oni fan loving Adventure Time, as the 3rd compendium, talk about a thick book, is on FOC this week. 3-Minute Bodyguard, a manga from, I believe it's Titan Publishing. But this was definitely a very, very fun read about a young boy who has an ultra badass female bodyguard. This feels One Punch Man, Dragon Ball-esque, but with, a Ranma comedy vibe to it.
Fun.
And then I know that you're the Archie boy here, Kyle. So talk to me a little bit about this Punk vs. Funk Jughead number 327 facsimile.
Yeah, so this is just one of those great Archie books, Jughead stories, where it's celebrating something you wouldn't expect in Archie, right? Like, you don't expect Archie to be like really, really celebrating CBGB and the New York punk scene, but here they are, and they've got the beautiful Vincent Lavallo Clash homage variant there. That's the London Calling homage. So again, it's just one of those. It's something you wouldn't expect. It's something that they're doing a facsimile of because don't nobody have any. So like it's a chance for you to pick up a book that didn't sell that well the first time, but became very important in Archie lore.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, look, if Superman is punk these days, Jughead's totally punk.
Jughead's been punk longer than Superman.
Yeah. So talk about things that have been a long ways out. Let's talk a bit about Snafu. Pre-Marvel Comics, Atlas Publishing. This was Stan Lee's response to Mad Magazine over at EC. Yeah. Fantagraphics bringing us Atlas Comic Library hardcover number 8, focusing on Snafu. And look at this all-star list of creators. Stan the Man Lee, Russ Heath, Joe Manili, Howie Post, John Severin, Bill Everett. Like this is literally the golden age all-star. So $40. That is all. Like normally I think of these type of books, I'm expecting like a pushing triple digit price tag. $40.
Yeah, how many pages is that?
It doesn't say. Like this is one of the things I will say. Lunar does a lot of things right. I wish they provide more details to the consumer end on there. But it's an amazing one. I mean, Kyle, you want to talk a little bit? I'll get the page count really quick.
Well, so one of the interesting things about this book is the Joe Manili part of this. Joe had lived a very short life, had an incredibly short career, died rather young, and so this represents a big, significant portion of what Joe actually did in comics. Like there isn't a lot outside of these Snafu books that was done by Joe Manili. So you need the kind of the whole picture, right? You've got Marie Severin, you've got John Severin, you've got Stanley, you got so many legendary creators. And oh, by the way, the guy who really was driving the boat is somebody you probably haven't heard of in Joe Manili. So this was, again, as Mathias said, this was Marvel's answer or Atlas's answer to EC's Mad Magazine. So it's very satirical, very naughty, especially for the time, right? Like
pre-code.
Yeah, we're talking pre-code, but we're talking like everybody's, so this is super fun. The jokes might not be funny anymore. It's that kind of humor, right? You're like, this is very 1950s humor.
That is the fate of all humor. Really, there's very little universal humor. It's so dependent on the culture at the time. There are jokes that don't work anymore just based on where we are as a society. They just are not, and they don't make any cultural sense because the things they're referencing aren't things that we deal with anymore. Humor does not age well for the most part.
But the deep dark secret is this book totally contains some of Stanley's only work in fart humor.
Wow. There it is. So by the way, I looked at the page count, but you know what? Well, I looked at the page count, so did somebody else. So if you want to bring that comment up, 256 pages.
Danny to the rescue.
And it's an oversized. It is an oversized book too. So Yeah, again, Kyle selling me on books. I wasn't, I do the show every week and sell myself on enough books. You got to calm it down, Kyle. Stop selling me more books.
Well, look, every time I think about the Snafu books, and I have some of the original printings of these things. And I think about Stanley again writing fart humor. I think, God, imagine if he'd have put that in the Hulk's mouth. Like Hulk would be so different and so much more interesting. Like Hulk talking about Hulk fart, like, come on, it'd have been great. So Snafu really set the tone for the lighter side of Marvel Comics later in a big way.
Yeah, there we go. I have to point out the great continuing manga, especially because now I've watched City Hunter on Netflix again. But yeah, Cat's Eye and City Hunter both set in the same universe. Classic 1980s manga getting revived. Then this one caught my eye because at first I thought this was K-pop Demon Hunters-esque, but no, Club Zodiac is not. It's Greek mythology done by Caden Phoenix, who's that visionary Latina comic creator who has done a bunch of incredible Latinx comic tales. She is back at Keen Spot once again with a interesting all ages book on Greek mythology.
This week on Comic Industry Insiders, we dropped some sales data about market percent, and Ignition Press totally was in the top 10, but so was Keen Spot. And I think Keen Spot is one of those publishers that is riding the wave of the Mark Spears monsters, but like more people are picking up books like Club Zodiac and some of these other Keen Spot titles going, what have I been missing all these years?
Yeah.
So it's good to see them. It's good to see them pop up there too.
Yeah. Oh man, I hate to see it end, but I love to read it as it came out. Conan, Scourge of the Serpent, Jim's up, wrapping up that big Conan crossover event. That is awesome. A lot of great covers on there. We had a foil cover last week on FOC, if anybody remembers. Crownsville, this is just hauntingly dark and far too real for a paranormal story. Done by Rodney Barnes and Ela Bonetti. Once again, talking about a place that I believe Kyle's actually been to.
Crownsville is a real place. It was a mental institution outside of Annapolis, Maryland. And ironically, the boy's going to be talking to Rodney about this very soon, and hopefully doing some interesting things in and around the state of Maryland related to this book. So I'm very excited that this continues to be popular. And Jason Sean Alexander doing this cover is freaking me out. But Crownsville is a really interesting story, and Rodney Barnes making it supernatural is just amping it up to a level where I'm not sure I'm going to be able to sleep next time I go back to Annapolis.
Yeah, no, the first issue is out right now. Issue 2 will be out soon, but wow, it hooked me in a painful way, like almost as if a real hook got in under my skin. It is a creepy vibe, and again, it's one of those ones because there's a reality to it that just makes it all the more horrifying. Deadly Tales of Gunslinger wraps up year 1 with its 12th issue, and that is not the end of Gunslinger we're going to be talking about today, as we also get incredible Die Loaded and Disavowed number 3 issues. I love both of Oni. Not only do we have Catacomb of Torment number 7, but we have Cruel Universe number 6. And look at this all-star cast on Cruel Universe number 6. Karina Becco, Maria Mora, Greg Pak. This is going to be a good issue.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing I love about these horror anthologies. Every issue tends to be a good issue for at least one story in there. But this looks like every single part is going to be A-list. Now, an interesting one, Antarctic Press has a lot on FOC this week. I want to point out Exciting Comics 55 just because Antarctic Press has a lot this week. But there's some bigger ones I want to talk about as we look through all these amazing titles. So please take a moment to look through the Lunar FOC. It's a small one this week. But the thing that I think is going to change everything is Geiger 20. Following up his epic role in Redcoat, which is part of the unnamed universe there, is the Northerner shooting his way out of the 1800s into the far-flung future of 25 years from now, the Northerner is going to properly enter Geiger. And this issue does read as a great intro. If you've never read Geiger, this will allow you to dive into Geiger as it hits part 1 of Dead America. And it is good. I mean, keep in mind, we also just had major news that Redcoat is going to get a feature film. Like, and that's going to be big, set in the same universe. This is part of the same universe. I don't know why everyone isn't going crazy as Redcoat's first appearance is skyrocketing in value. Go buy your first appearances of Geiger. Dive into Geiger. If you've never read Geiger, the second hardcover just hit stands. They have the first hardcover trade paperbacks. It is a must read. But if you need to just dive in, this is the issue to dive in. Issue 20. We're going to have the introduction of the Northerner into Geiger proper. He's hidden in the background a few times. But, man, this was a good read. I cannot wait for everyone else to read it so I can talk about it.
Just to make Danny uncomfortable, I'm going to throw it out there. Geiger Ghost Machine's Threadless store is having a sale.
Ooh, yeah. So if you want to wear some Geiger clothing or some Redcoat clothing, get ahead of that, before the movie hits. Have that Redcoat.
$13 t-shirts.
I need you to bring up that other cover for Geiger. I have to see.
All right, we're gonna break it because that it was in the top 10, but yeah, I know you got to wicked it up.
Yeah, I feel targeted.
He has changed for Radioactive.
Yeah,
Sean Von Gorman there with Brad Anderson. That is perfection. I was gonna hide it to the top 10. This is unquestionably in the top 10, and we'll talk about it more later. But
that is a stellar cover. Well, looking at the clock, I might not make it to the top 10, so I'm glad you indulged me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you want to be popular, that's the way you do a cover.
Yeah, nice ref there, Mathias.
I was hoping I was going to slowly get Dan into singing the song.
Listen, come to Comics Pro. We do the karaoke goes nuts.
Yeah. It just, when you're the guy who has no ability to sing whatsoever, I just get embarrassed.
Yeah, Mathias is here with 2 musical theater nerds. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, we got.
I love my musical theater. Don't get me wrong. I'm just incapable of performing it. I've done it once, oddly enough, with Dan's boss, and I'm sure everyone there regretted it. They're like, never invite Mathias to karaoke.
I don't think anyone said that. And furthermore, there's enough alcohol involved with most comics karaoke parties that I don't think anyone remembers it that well in the first place.
That's very true.
I remember all of it. My
favorite publisher crossover event has not been Marvel and DC Deadpool, Batman, Deadpool, but in fact was Ob Driver from IDW and myself from Oni at the time singing Suddenly Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors last year. That's my favorite publisher crossover event.
So you ready for the most intense insider comic reference? I have all of Ob's metal albums.
That's incredible.
Believe it or not, I am a fan of Ob going back, like well over, it was like 15 years ago. I literally still have one of his albums in my car.
That's amazing.
I think I found the soundtrack for Comics Pro.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I don't know if he knows that, like, anybody, I mean, he knows, obviously, I listen to his music. But
right. He's never going to watch this. He's never going to see this. Yeah. Everyone's intro music for Comics Pro this year should be a track from Ob's catalog. I'm calling it now.
I like it.
If only you knew the guy who was responsible for that.
If only.
Yeah. I got to show off one more incredible Geiger cover because, as I said, it spun right out of Redcoat into it. I hate that I'm buying every cover of Geiger for issue number 20, but it is that damn good. These are beautiful, but this German Peralta piece that has the Northerners slipping through the sands of time in a very literal sense from the 1800s Civil War with Redcoat all the way down into the far-flung post the unknown war with Geiger. I mean, Ghost Machine does nail this stuff incredibly well, but this is the most I've been excited about Geiger. And look, we've had Jeff on here to talk about Geiger. I mean, this issue, though, this is it. If you've never picked up Geiger, if you've never read Geiger, this is the issue you need to get. So Geiger 20. I know that Dan's obviously going after that wicked Sean Von Gorman cover. So
Listen, I may or may not be texting Danny on the side to be like, all right, can I get the original art? Hook me up to introduce me to the cover artist. No, that's very cool. I like that a lot.
always a great guy. G.I. Joe Dreadnought War wraps up right now in issue 17. There is expected to be a big twist. There's actually a private little Skybound meeting happening right now that I'm not in because I'm on this show, and I wish I could be knowing what the secret reveal is. But the last page twist that will change G.I. Joe forever in the Energon universe. So big one wrapping up that bi-weekly release from Joshua Williamson. But then on top of that, Larry Hama, G.I. Joe, looking great with that amazing Andy Kubert cover. Gunslinger hitting its big issue 50, continuing the issue 50 storyline crossover that started with King Spawn and will end in Spawn Scourge. All sorts of fun. Todd McFarlane dealing with Gunslinger Spawn. It's great. Heavy Metal continuing on. All sorts of fun. Hold on one second. I'm going to cough, so I'm going to kill my mic if someone wants to.
Well, I mean, you have Pecos Bill, which is a new character that's in the public domain. Again, from Keen Spot that we could turn into. Yeah, that's another one of those. Maybe check out from them if you've been digging the things that Keen Spot's been doing. I feel like I just extemporized enough to let Mathias cough.
Yeah, there it is. Another one. So the reason I brought up Anarchic Press has a number of great releases this week. Big one, though, huge anniversary. Ninja High School. This is like the indie comic that could. This was Ben Dunn's love letter to manga that started in the 80s. Ninja High School hits issue 200. And here's the annoying thing, positive and annoying thing. This was originally solicited back in spring through Diamond for intentional release. But with everything that happened towards Diamond, Antarctic Press was one of the smaller publishers that unfortunately got screwed and didn't have a home to get their books out. Now, thanks to Massive Publishing and Lunar, we are finally getting this issue, this big, iconic issue. And while I haven't even read Ninja High School in a number of years, I am going to get back in there for this. Issue 200 is a huge thing. Like, that's big for especially a small publisher. Like, it was big when Spawn hit 300, but it's Image. It's Todd McFarlane. I get that. Antarctic Press is a small publisher. When I think of indie, it's up there in that list. Hitting 200 issues, that's a big milestone. So, fun one there. I had to bring out. I also have to go back a little bit on that same note. Love and Rockets getting a classic collection of stories with new content as well for Locas, the Maggie and Hopi stories, reprinting those classic stories from the first 50 issues of Love and Rockets with new additional content for the anniversary. Because, I mean, that's some classic, being in San Diego, that is some classic San Diego punk rock. Then, I got to point it out, Pin-Up Apocalypse is getting a trade paperback, but the big thing to pay attention to, limited to only 2,000 copies, there is a direct market exclusive Shubina. Sveta Shubina? Am I saying that right? Someone? Sveta
Couldn't
Shubina.
tell you.
Amazing cover. Yeah, but she is definitely an all-star artist. People have been going crazy to get. So that is the trade that I think is going to sell. Then we, of course, have the second issue of Rick and Morty to end. I have to show it off because I love my Namor knockoff here.
So fun.
Yeah. Let's see. The fact that we are going to be getting more of the Jeffrey Brown books available to comic shops. Once again, if you've never read Darth Vader and Son, you were missing out. It's absolutely cute. But I've never had the chance to read The Mandalorian and Child, which I can only imagine is better because these are all little one-page, short, quippy, joke strips that Jeffrey Brown does that are just unbelievably cute. Especially because I love the idea of a world where Darth Vader got to raise his children. Darth Vader gets to play dad to Luke and Leia in this delightfully upbeat version that doesn't involve a Death Star. Then another Antarctic Press hit, Tomorrow Girl. First off, love to Terry Parr for doing those Golden Age Airboy classics. It almost has a Dave Stevens vibe, but it's an interesting one as this story is set at a comic convention. And of course, that means the B cover puts our hero being by inevitable death by short box and long box collapse. But I love this reference to, I believe it's what, Flash 123, the Tale of Two Worlds.
Yep.
Yeah, but great one. You have the Golden Age Tomorrow Girl and modern Tomorrow Girl costume. But yeah, another fun one from Ben Dunn, who, like, again, kicking it, hard for 40 years in this industry.
Speaking of crushed under long boxes, I spent Thanksgiving in Bradenton, Florida with the fine folks at Bat City Comics. Professional.
You had quite the meal.
Yeah. And they had their Small Business Saturday sale and went to their storage unit. And you want to talk about long boxes. We moved 80 of those suckers out of their storage unit and then went through all of them looking for keys and whatever else. And yeah, there were a couple of ripped handle moments that scared everybody. Woo! Those boxes don't last
when
forever.
That happens?
Mm-hmm.
80 long boxes. You realize that is well over a ton of long boxes.
Oh yeah. It was
comics.
Yeah, it was multiple trips. I'm a firm believer in the 2005 Honda Element. Great car that really is a workhorse and could carry 10 long boxes at a time quite effectively.
Yeah. No, and I got to give a huge shout out and love to Shannon and Matt over at Bat City, Sarasota, Florida. Is that correct?
Bradenton, Florida, south of Tampa. Yeah.
Sarasota, yeah. Bradenton. Okay, yeah. No, and I imagine they were absolutely adorable hosts, right? Like they were just the best.
It's one of my best Thanksgivings ever. I had such a wonderful time.
Awesome. All right. Got to go a little bit back to Skybound. See, it feels like there's a handful of publishers that really threw all their heart into FOC this week. Hopefully, it was because they're throwing all their heart to the printers, allowing them some time off. But Ignition, Antarctic Press, and Skybound with another huge one, Transformers 28 from Robert Kirkman, Dan Mora, Mike Spicer, and again a huge one right there. RC makes a stunning decision that will shock every Transformers fan. So G.I. Joe and Transformer both go in the big boom in 1 week. So some great covers on that too. I always love the covers on Transformers. Fantagraphics continuing their Uncle Scrooge love with their legacy numbering 464, dealing with the McDuck journals up in the Klondike. So that'll be fun. And that is our nice simple FOC for Monday, December 8th. I think you made it to the top 10. Do you want to do the top 10 with us, Dan?
I got a call in 9 minutes, so if we go fast, I can do it.
All right, let's do it. So our top 10 starts with the honorable mention that I know Dan will talk about. Dan, you want to talk about our honorable mention rather than me because I spoke enough about it. It is Star
Wars Legacy, the omnibus edition. I will be buying this, even though I already have it in singles. Look at that cover, God. With him in the Vader sphere type setting, it's just gorgeous with the red lightsaber. I love how it just cuts through. One of my favorites.
All right, this is my favorite Star Wars. It is one of yours too. So Dan, give the quick pitch. You already
okay.
You got to go to a different publisher. Quick pitch on this.
125 years after Return of the Jedi, we're following the great-grandson of Luke Skywalker in a fractured galaxy. We have remnant of the Empire, we have the New Republic, and we have a new Sith Empire that has emerged from the ashes. And the rule of two is out the window, and we're back to the Sith in large number, which you haven't seen since old Republic, like hyperspace wars times. This is the pinnacle of the Dark Horse Star Wars era. This is what got me back into comics. This is my template for what a licensed comic book should look like. Star Wars Legacy is one of the finest books to come out of the Dark Horse era of Star Wars. One of the greatest now considered legacy stories. And if you don't read it, we can't be friends.
It's true. It's true.
Facts.
I love it. All right. Number 10, we get that beautiful Puebla cover of Hello Darkness number 18 to start off Sam Humphrey's new run. I am excited about this. And I always wondered what would happen if, the sawing a man in half trick went wrong.
Or went right. Gorgeous work. I love the blood drip.
All right. This is a really cool one. Ninja High School number 200 variant by Fred Perry, a very frequent collaborator with Ben Dunn and part of Antarctic Press. You know him from Gold Digger. Now, he did a near perfect homage to Ninja High School number 1, Like if you go Google up Ninja High School #1, this is a near perfect homage and a perfect way to set up issue 200. So awesome piece there. Then Jason Burrows on Inglorious X-Force #1. Like we said, we're in the year of Tim Seeley. So let's start off 2026 with more Tim Seeley. Get No Place #3 and Inglorious X-Force on the same release date. And then look at that Jason Burrows cover. Oh, hold on. Look at that Jason Burrows. I can't pinpoint it, but I feel it looks like it could be an homage to X-Men #1 by Jim Lee. I could be wrong, but it looks solid.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Then Lee Bermejo giving us that Destro.
I love Lee's work. Lee's so good.
Yeah, and well, we don't know. I literally don't know because I'm not in the meeting right now. What happens in G.I. Joe 17? They're promising it's big, and it's got to be big if they tried to drag me into a meeting on Friday for it. Rogue #1. Look at that. Oh, Kevin Wada. You just make my heart flutter. That is a beautiful Gambit and Rogue piece. Rogue #1, I think I'm going to be excited about no matter what because of Erica Schultz writing and the concept on it. There's a great Scotty Young cover with Rogue and Gambit, but that Kevin Wada piece. And it gets even better with X-Men 24. Get my face off the screen. Look at that beautiful. This is X-Men Rivals artwork, but look at that Rogue and Gambit. I think that's, you want to be in the top 10. Any publisher, here's the trick. Just put Rogue and Gambit on your cover. I'm sure any publisher can do that. Right, DC?
Even Gambit's cakey in this cover.
Yeah.
That was my one critique, though. Like, you got to get that coat a little more out of the way. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
a cake can't be completely covered in fondant.
Yeah. All right. Of course, we had to make it in there. Look at that beautiful, that Christopher. Look, all the covers on Bloodland are great. All the covers at Ignition are great. It's like some editor over there just happens to know how to put together some great covers. But man, that Christopher Mitten cover, it just has the vibe of Mike Mignola added to a higher T. Like, that is beautiful.
I am a huge fan of Maggie Howell, the editor on this book, has done a phenomenal job. You might know her from her work over at DC on the Black Label books there, getting that started. She's done incredible work all over the industry, but she's really knocking it out of the park with her work over at Ignition. And when she said, "Oh, I've got a Christopher Mitten cover on this," I was like, "Yeah."
Well, and here's the cool part about it. Like initially you just take it in, like, it's the vampire upside down. This is great and all that. But I mean, Dan knows this. But for everyone else watching, did you guys catch the American flag in the background with the blood pool being the red stripe? Like that, solid piece.
I didn't even catch the vampire bit.
Just focus on the skull. All right. I always have to bring it up. There's never a time when Scotty Young does a Spawn cover that isn't going to skyrocket on the aftermarket. In fact, we're already seeing it just a month later with the King Spawn 50 Scotty Young cover. So, of course, the rootin' tootin'est, most gunslingingest Spawn out there, done by Scotty Young, that is not only going to be a great issue, it is going to be a great cover. And for those speccing on comics, that is the aftermarket value. Now, as we said, the big reveal for this Transformer has something to do with RC. I don't know what it is. I'm not spoiling anything, but it says it in the solicit. It's something to do with RC. So when you combine the only cover with RC and Daniel Warren Johnson on there,
you can't beat a Daniel Warren Johnson cover. No way, no how. Not on Transformers, baby. Not in the year 2025.
Yeah. I cannot wait. I mean, you just watch. He'll have a golf comic somewhere in 2026 or 2027, and that will be the moment he just becomes the new GOAT. And there it was, #1. Dan, spoiling it for everyone. There's your big #1 reveal. All right, give me the Wicked. Give me the Wicked, Dan.
Give you the Wicked?
I don't know.
Well, I've heard it said, Mathias, that people come into our lives for a reason. Bringing something that we must learn. And we are drawn to those that help us most to grow, but only if we let them and we help them in return.
I am wholeheartedly impressed. Well done.
Listen. At Comics Pro, just for you, I'll sing Popular and it'll be great.
Just for me.
Just for you. Everyone else clear the room. It's just me and Mathias.
All right. Oh, every enemy of theirs deserves to fry. I love it. That is Sean Von Gorman, who is already a brilliant artist and a legendary figure in the comic, just at his absolute best. Look, the guy or the serial covers Ghost Machine had by Sean Von Gorman were solid. The Wicked, I'm certain Danny, saw that and just squealed. But
I have a
think
feeling Danny may have been the force behind that one.
No, I imagine that when Jeff Johns is sitting silently at his typewriter, putting away his 75th script of the day, he's sitting there just singing ever so slightly under his breath every single lyric to Wicked.
I imagine he starts at the top and there's no one mourns the wicked. However long the album takes, that's how long he writes for.
All right. Dan, thank you so much for joining us for the whole show once again here on Order Up, the Final Order Cutoff show. But that's not all on the EXP this weekend. Kyle, what else do we have coming our way?
There's some stuff happening. Nick's selling art. Nancy's doing a show. We got to get out of here because Dan has a call. Dan, where can people follow Ignition Press?
At Ignition Press on all platforms. Come check us out. We'll see you fine folks at Comics Pro. I'm going to boogie. Have a great weekend. Mathias, thanks for everything. Kyle, you're the best. Adios and take care, folks.
And then we have a continuing great run of shows. Always here.
Special announcement just finished. Sunday at 7:00 Eastern. Dan Wickline and I will be breaking down the news of what is happening with certain two-letter, Jack Warner and his brother story, and a certain Sarandos. So, Sunday at 7 here on the EXP.
I know what you're talking about, and that confused me. But yes, so
that's the point.
Sunday. That is going to be a very interesting one. You'll have Dan Wickline and Kyle, two bearded fellows, talking up comics as everyone loves it. Obviously, we'll be back next week, possibly with a crazy special guest. What do you mean? We always have a special guest here on Order Up, the Final Order Cutoff show. And we will have more books to talk about on FOC. It'll be my last show in America, I think, for the year. Ooh, that's crazy to think of. Kyle, any other big news we need to talk about before we let everyone go off on their lives? All right. So get your orders into your local comic shop for all the incredible books that you saw on FOC this week. Remember to check out prhcomics.com and lunardistribution.com to get those orders in. There are some amazing books. You're not going to want to miss out. 2026 is going to be a crazy year for comics, and it starts with getting your orders in this Monday. We'll see you guys next week. Have a nice one.